Are we there yet?
We are here.
All right. We're here.
If you're wondering, I'm Lance.
I'm Brad.
This is the Mostly Useless Podcast. This is episode 2. And this system we're in is Seoul. We went to Seoul. And we made some false statements. And we wanted to start off this episode by apologizing for all the misinformation that we released last week. From my part, saying that you could land on the moon. You cannot land on the moon.
No.
It broke my heart. The moon doesn't even look that good, honestly. Like, of any moon in this game, we've got 400 billion star systems. Well, we got to get the one star system we live in right. Am I wrong?
Low textures for the moon are just
What?
unexcusable.
It's pretty blocky.
Pretty blocky.
Well, it's fixable. Let's get it landable. In other news, I did see Uranus,
Hey.
and I probed it.
Nice.
That we went to Seoul, and it was cool, but you can't land on the moon yet. I think at some point we should... I always wanted to put a team together to kind of go searching for the Tesla that's in the game, that's floating around somewhere.
It's in the game?
Yeah, apparently it is in the game. I don't know if that could be a rumor. If it's not a rumor, then we again will have a disclaimer at the beginning of the next episode too, because you got to cover all the bases. We don't have the funds for all the legal ramifications that this show may create.
Did you get your pink guns?
I did get my pink guns.
Are they fantastic?
First, I was upset because I bought the astronaut suit and the pink guns in the store, and they didn't show up, and then I had to buy them in-game. They're free, not the astronaut suit, but the pink guns. And I just bought them on the wrong account. Can we somehow fix that, buying things on the wrong account? I don't understand why I can log into an account that I don't have access to buy things, but yet I can't play the game under that account because I don't have the credentials.
I also lost things in my transfer from Xbox to PC. I lost...
Oh, from console.
Yeah, I lost skins. I lost...
Welcome, console player. There's some new players. And somebody commented on the thing that you talked about last time, which was, we were talking about cargo boxes, and he really wants an ability for non-carrier owners. He didn't say this verbatim, but if you don't own a carrier, you don't really have a place to store large quantities of anything, of things that you mine. You have to go directly to sell it because it's just in your ship. You can't put it anywhere. I mean, you could go sell it to somebody else's carrier, but if you own a carrier, you have a storage. And so maybe there could be some kind of storage unit for players that don't own carriers that could also increase their ability. Maybe it only holds 5,000 tons, but you could put some rares like the Soontil relics, which right now you need almost every week. In this past week, it was 2 different systems to sell rares. I got merits, 3,000 merits. All I did was sell 20 Soontil relics. You got all kinds of relics like Azur's milk and different things, and I sold it. I got like hundreds of them on my carrier, just sitting there waiting. And every week I just go grab 20, and I sell it, and I get my 3,000 merits for doing almost nothing. But if a player doesn't have a carrier or a clan or a squadron, you're welcome to join ours. We're pretty leisure. 33, section 33.
Section 33.
And he's Mr. 30.
Yeah, Mr.
30. And then the number 3. Yeah, that was probably your console name that you dropped last time, right?
No, it changed. It
could
was
change your name?
My name was Winston Wolfling on console, and then when it switched to my Steam account, it took my Steam.
I got you. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it gets a little tricky. There's like 8 or 9 different ways to log in this game.
Yeah.
So watch out, Wobbles. You're about to get attacked. Cat fight is happening in the back end. Offset. BTS action. But what were we talking about?
the,
We were talking about
I
the
don't
pink
remember.
guns,
Pink guns
and
and
accounts and stuff.
and accounts. And
That was a test.
what are you doing in the game? Let us know what you're doing. Let us know how you play the game, because we know how we play the game.
Right.
He's more business oriented, and
I like
the
making money
carrier.
for a lot of little effort.
I like flying around and taking naps, obviously.
I'm a big proponent of time versus energy, and if you get into running cargo, and you can be pretty lucrative on it, and you don't have to have a carrier. I didn't have a carrier, and I figured out a way to make a couple billion credits a week, and you just go to the other carrier clans, squadrons like PTN, they're one of the top ones, and unload for them, and you make good money. And if you park on their carrier, they'll take you to the next location, most likely, because they're running routes. I was marking them. I put sidewinders on every single PTN ship in the game, carrier, and I knew where all of their ships were. I would just look in my shipyard and would say, this ship is in the middle of BFE, way out in the black, and I was like, what's going on there? And it's just one of those PTN ships just decided to go on a trip. And so you could put markers.
AirPods.
Yeah, it's basically a 33,000 credit AirPod. I don't know how much a Sidewinder is.
It's not that expensive.
No, that's not expensive for a ship.
That's cheap. You remember how you made your first million in the game?
Probably exploration for sure.
I made mine running BGS, running data.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe so. Yeah, probably. You're right. I think some of the first missions, the easiest ones, because you didn't have all the modules.
No.
All you had was a Sidewinder and an interest of altitude.
I grinded that out in the Sidewinder until I had enough money to afford a Dolphin, and then I started running passengers, and that's how I made my.
You can make good money with the
fortunes
running passengers, but it's not all about making money. I mean, the only reason why I was concerned about making money is so I could buy every ship in the game. And once you get every ship in the game, then you start looking, well, what do I do now? And there's still plenty to do. And the BGS update, which we didn't really talk about it last week, but it is a big update, and I like it. If you go to the little side panel on the right, you look at your power, and it tells you this week how many, all these list of things. Go to this system and sell rares, or go hack the holo screens, or go kill people in this sector, or go commit crimes, and it changes. First of all, it gives you access to more parts of the game if you didn't already know, and then the other part is that it just gives you something else that you haven't really done. Maybe you haven't gone and intentionally started crimes in another system, and it starts making you think, like, well, what can I do that's illegal around here? And how far can I push it without getting killed? And the benefit is that you, with enough merits, you will eliminate the having to pay the insurance to get your ship when it's exploded. And I exploded a $260 million Corvette, and I didn't like paying that.
I think it's the one ship I don't have is a Corvette.
If the same thing happened today, I would have 60% less to pay. And as I continue to get merits, it'll go all the way to 100 in a system that's controlled by your power, or a system that's also controlled by any other power. And that means you're invincible. But what's that going to do to gankers? It's going to embolden them.
Yeah.
It might make the universe more dangerous.
Elite Dangerous. Danger is good. We like danger.
So we did get the pink guns. I want to tell you, they're just cosmetic. I'm still back to standing in my tower of power on recommending a weapons refactor in this game.
Definitely.
It's not an immediate need, but just give us the ability to kind of customize them. it's kind of
Yeah.
sad that
You know,
you kill a guy, you see a dead guy on the ground, you're out of ammo, and you can see his gun, and it's like he has ammo, and it's the same gun I have in my hand. That is a problem, and we really try to go out of our way. You know, Elite tries to go out of their way to kind of keep the science. You know, and we're not talking about Thargoids, but like astronomically, like I gotta commend them. They have all their planets rotate the star, and all the moons rotate the planets. I mean, not rotate, but orbit, and they all rotate, and it's like a clock. It's like a giant 400 billion moving part clock.
they nailed all the technicals. All the technicals are there. They're like it's all the scientifics are there. And that's all fantastic.
Maybe not all, but
maybe
a lot
okay,
of
maybe
good
not all, but
intel went into that design.
it's that basic stuff like picking up weapons that other players drop or NPCs drop or stuff like that. It's really just kind of lacking.
Well, the solution might go back to what you were talking about last week with persistence.
Yeah.
If you made a weapon persistent, and when another character dies and gets respawned, the weapon should stay on the ground, or then we would have weapons littered all over the ground, and I'm okay with that in a battlefield.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to get messy, but we're gonna have to see about it.
Indeed.
And
well, unfortunately, I won't see anything for at least another 3 to 4 days. My hard drive just died mid-game, so there's that.
I was like, man, I looked through all my hard drives. I have 3, hard drives that would make sense, but one of them is an external, and that's useless.
Yeah, no, I've got one. I've got one on the way. It's no big deal.
We know that you got to have SSD if you want to play a game. Like, just don't do it.
No.
Without an SSD.
I think I was the last guy probably running the lead on a mechanical.
I was tired of you struggling. I was like, man, dude. Ever since I switched, when I first switched to SSD, it improved like 500%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But then the big kicker was switching to GeForce RTX. When I hit RTX, even the Stanton community ran better.
Yeah.
In fact, Stanton community won't run, in my opinion, without RTX.
Yeah.
Or something equivalent.
Yeah, you got to be a big boy to play that game.
And if you notice, we don't mention products on this show because, number one, the Stanton community is not a sponsor on this show. We don't have any sponsors.
No.
And so, at best, we might be able to do like a shameless plug of something. But for the most part, we don't have sponsors. And Chris Roberts played bass on my 2 records. If you look up the album I'm recording now, which is not completely out yet, but the last record, Chris Roberts played bass. The famous Chris Roberts, the same guy you see at Jazz Fest.
That guy.
And plays in Bourbon Street.
I've only seen him in a studio. I've never seen him outside of a studio.
I want to tell you a story about Chris, but I don't want us to get taken down on our second episode.
No,
so
we'll save that for later.
What else did we did some stuff though before your computer crashed?
We were getting merits. We were rescuing escape pods. We were. I was also trying to link up with another friend of ours in game who we just found out he plays. And he's never played in open.
Interesting.
He's only played VR in solo.
Okay.
So.
Well, we got to break that egg.
Yeah, we'll get him out there.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it is more dangerous in certain areas, but for the most part, when I see another player, I get excited. I see that little yellow box.
Indeed.
I'm like, that's a player. Oh, by the way, when we teamed up and we were doing what was it? The escape pods?
Yeah.
Could you see my team messages back to you?
Yeah.
Like where I always said, run. I thought you were with me.
No.
And like, be careful getting escape pods. If it's not your power, some anaconda will show up unannounced, or it might already be there. I went there and I just started grabbing it. and he started blasting me. I mean, in seconds, and my shields are down like 70%, and I'm like, I'm out of here. And I thought you were behind me, so I just run.
Run.
And
Yeah.
but no, you were at the base
Yeah.
selling the occupied space pods.
Yeah.
I don't think, I don't believe that you got merits for that. And I believe the reason why is because that was Zemina Torval's power and not
Not. Yeah.
Edmund Mahon, which is where I'm at, and I think that's where you're at, right?
I'm not sure where I'm at when
That could be a problem.
Yeah.
You need to check.
Uh,
But if I were you, I would not go to Edmund Mahon, even though he's the biggest. Unless you're already there. If you're already there, forget it. Build your merits. But because when you switch, you got to start over. I believe you have to start over on merits. But when they don't reset on a time.
Right.
You get to keep them. So once you get to 100 levels, you stay at that as long as you never switch powers. But the biggest, fastest way to get merits right now is mining. If you mine materials like alexandrite, monzonite, all the good mining materials, low temperature diamonds, even like all that stuff that pays money, you get merits for that, and it's dividends. So you might get 10, 15,000 merits through doing the normal stuff that's in your little power window. But mining, you could get 50,000, 60,000 in an hour or two of just mining, but the key is you have to mine it in the same system that you sell it in, and that system has to be controlled by your power and another little modifier like reinforced or exploited. I'm not really sure if you know, comment it. But there is a mining tool right now on the internet. We'll give them a shameless plug. Just look up Merit Miner Elite Dangerous. You'll find it. And that will tell you where there's a pristine system that you can sell in the same system that's also controlled by your power. It's a big help. So if you're not on Edmund Mahon, don't pick him. And this is where my point is. And the reason why is because there's more people on Edmund than anything else. So go to one that's maybe middle of the pack that you like. Pick that one. And when you do the Merit Miner, you're going to have a lot less competition with other players in the game trying to do the exact same thing that I'm talking about right now. And so that's your tip of the week. That's just the tip of the week. It's nothing more. We're not going to expand on it.
Let us know what you think about the merit system, or if you even care about the merit system.
Yeah, maybe you don't. Because you don't.
Not really.
You're not as motivated.
No.
But you also didn't lose a $275 million ship on a escape pod retrieval like I did. Because let me tell you, those other power anacondas, they are super deadly. They're not mostly harmless.
The first thing I did was got a lower tier ship and outfitted it just to carry limpets and cargo, and that was it. No weapons.
That's a great idea.
No anything, just snatch and grab and run.
Also, if you get those the smaller ships for the like the ones where you gotta go investigate a satellite or something, and it's supposed to be a crash satellite, but you get there and it's like a platoon of dudes like shooting at you, and so you should bring an SRV and just run them over. If you notice that, I was smashing them. Because the SRV is kind of hard to shoot and drive. Yeah. I wish they had a two-person. That would be cool to have a two-person SRV. I know it'd be weird, but like maybe you could make it just. There's no space for us to sit in there. I guess it'd be kind of.
I use a controller, so it's pretty easy.
No, but I mean for two of us to sit inside an SRV.
Yeah.
And it's too big to fit. Maybe it could be blockier. But then that would defeat the purpose because it's not in the all-terrain. I just wish I could have somebody in the turret while I'm driving down the beach.
You can.
Or maybe it could be like a pickup truck, like little thing where you could stand on the back and control the turret.
Elon, give us a Tesla truck.
Elon doesn't play this game, but if he did,
If he did, he'd hire somebody to do
he
it.
would watch. Oh, is that what he was doing?
Allegedly.
Well,
I don't know where he has the time.
I have heard of certain websites that you can sell your account on for money in different games like Destiny
Yeah.
or online games where you've built up this mass cache of things. And Elite Dangerous, don't do it. It's against the policy. They will ban your account, even if it's listed. And so, we're watching a cat fall off the. He's about to knock something over. Just chill, man. We're doing an episode, Stinky. He's a rescue.
Orange Sidewinder.
Oh yeah. Man, was that an orange one?
Yeah, it's connection issues, isn't it?
It was something. I don't know. Occasionally we have technical difficulties, and sometimes it's external, and sometimes it's internal, and sometimes it's in the comms panel, or in the roll panel. If it's in the roll panel, it's serious.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I gotta say, didn't we do something else other than the escape pods?
Did a little moving around. I don't remember exactly.
It was
what.
in ships, though. We were flying. We went and got the escape pods.
I know I had to pick you up from almost Hutton Orbital for something way out there.
I got dead. I got unalived.
Yeah.
Right? And when I got unalived, my ship was like, I guess thought it was in orbit, but I got respawned back on my carrier. Never had this happen. I've died all kinds of times. But I died, I guess, I don't know why, but it respawned me in my carrier. So I'm in my carrier, and I got footage of this.
Right.
And I can't get out of my carrier. I go to my hangar, and it's like,
Nope.
no hangars, no access to hangars. So I go over to thankfully I have the ship selling ability, and if you do have that on your carrier, you also have this holographic. It's really cool, and it's got all the ships that you can see in holograms, and
Yeah, ship store.
and you go in there, and in there I was able to apparently pay. It got impounded. And the impound was like, oh, more. This is how they're gonna get us. I realized it. This whole merit thing is a carrot, right? And this whole merit thing is a carrot, and it's fun because the greatest thing about video games is something that's unexplored that you haven't done yet. When you get to level 100, you're gonna be bummed out. The dopamine's gonna drop, but the whole thing, if you realize it right now, they're basically eliminating the ship rebuy, where it doesn't cost you any money to lose it.
Yeah.
But I didn't even lose my ship.
It got impounded.
I just got shot, or I don't know if I fell off a cliff or whatever, but I died on a planet, maybe near a base, maybe not. Maybe I was killed by security. I think that was the thing, possibly. Either way, the impound cost was more than my rebuy. I mean, because my rebuy has been reduced, but it didn't get blowed up. They need to fix that. This impound stuff, I don't know if it's new and I just haven't noticed it, or maybe it's rare. You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. If you've seen the impound feature, let us know. Was it outrageous? And did it happen recently, or did it happen a long time ago? Am I just I was in maybe a special zone or something? I'm not sure. But
System security and base security, they don't play around when you.
no, they hit hard. They don't. They go straight to level 10 lethality.
Yeah.
They will tap you out, double tap you.
Yeah. I've got one ship I can't use because it has a 10 credit fine. And anytime I get in it, I'm a target.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so that's the.
My Diamondback, not the Explorer.
That is the negative side of the having a hot ship.
Yeah.
Oh, I never noticed. I thought I was just lucky.
I've used the ship one time and I got a fine in it, and I never used it again
Well,
after
I
that.
used that to my advantage. Whenever I was leveling up to get my rank in as a Navy rank
Yeah.
and make it a Rear Admiral, I was running between Manini and these three systems. There's a loop, and that was the better the more important the mission, the more likely you're gonna get pulled. And I was getting pulled so much that I was like, well, why not make this fun? And I was just fighting them. I was like, okay, pulling, okay, let's fight.
Oh, I remember
And
that.
it built up I went from mostly harmless to, you know, mostly can whoop that ass,
Yeah.
for the most part. And it was also something to do, but the problem is it's a lot of work on the wrist. I would, if there's ever a dev that watches this show, give us more maneuverability in space. What we have in space feels like Atmo. Put what's in space and the ability to spin, that slowness to turn all the way around. Like, it's space. When something goes in space, that's the one science that I have a problem with this Elite Dangerous, is that when you shoot something or when a spaceship goes out, it slows down.
Slows down.
It should not be slowing down.
It should keep moving.
And there is a way to turn off the safe maneuvering speed to where it doesn't autocorrect, and
The stabilization.
you will have that space feel. But at the same time, it doesn't increase the speed of your turnability. I should be able to come at you. If you're behind me and you're following me, I should be able to spin around and shoot you. You would think in space, not in Atmo. In Atmo, you've got turbulences, wind, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all kind of factors.
We need a little bit more maneuverability. I've got a broken hand, and the joystick HOTAS, I just got the cast off. They pulled the pins out. Check me out on the TikTok if you want to see that nasty crap. And I just got it off, but the HOTAS helps with all the buttons. I mean, it hurts.
Therapy?
It hurts, and I'm fighting, or mining or whatever I'm doing. It hurts when I'm doing it, but it's like I'm in the zone. And when you're in the zone, you don't care. You kind of look. You just play through it. You play through the injury as an elite gamer.
Yeah.
I am. At some point, I was one of the top gamers in the world, and then I realized how I had spent over 10,000 hours of my, given year inside a game,
That's ridiculous.
playing, not in the menus.
Yeah.
And that's when I sold my PlayStation. I didn't sell it. I gave it away to a buddy.
You don't have a.
And he died of cancer soon after that. But then I started doing music. I did get back into gaming, though. It's inevitable. It's in my blood. Like, I was born. When I was born in Women's Hospital, a.k.a. the Baton Rouge Police Department headquarters, that building. And at the time, they had arcade games. It was in the 70s. And my dad would bring these arcade games to the hospital, and he'd own the game. He would own the console, and people would put quarters in. He made $80,000 in early 80s in 1 year off of Centipede. Just
Wow.
one arcade game.
Wow.
That's the power of gaming. And we had all kinds of, we had pole position and different, but when he would get a new game, it would be at our house first. And like me and my brother, we could test it out. And and he'd be like, get out. And then we'd never see it again. It would go to the arcade because he had an arcade. And then Nintendo came out. And that was it.
That was it.
That's all she wrote. And I'm going
Done.
to tell you right now, if I could go back in time and change that and, keep arcades, I wouldn't do it. As much as I would be rich, I would think we'd be rich. He probably would have blown it on a horse race or something. But at some point, I think the evolution in gaming has just expanded us. Like, it's given us something to do. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Women have a hard time seeing it, but if you have a boyfriend who's at the house playing video games, he's not out there chasing tail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
He's grounded.
and sometimes, like, when you work all day, you want to get off work. You want to release that dopamine and maybe pop a cap in somebody digitally, or maybe you want to, feed your cats or get in space like we do.
Yeah.
Where we gonna go? Oh, you said you can't go nowhere for a
No,
while.
I'm grounded, so it's pretty
All you
much.
need is a hard drive.
It's pretty much. I'm getting a hard drive. Hard drives.
Okay, is that gonna solve it
Should.
temporarily?
No, that's the only problem. My
Okay.
hard drive died, and it was just too full.
I have
or-
faith. I have faith.
It's coming back. It's coming back. I'll be back soon.
Faith is kind of like dark energy. You can't really see it. You can't really detect it, but we know it's there.
Yep. So wherever you decide to park the boat, I'll be.
So I guess
fine.
I get to choose where we're going this week.
Yeah.
Because I may be the only person going there. Well, we need to think about. We need to look at some community goals. There could be a community goal, and if there is a community goal that hasn't like already ran its course,
Yeah.
they usually last about 7 days. I like a good community goal because it's enough, especially if you're trying to make some money. A lot of times it can be very financially gainful in the game, but it gives you something to do. I was the number one. I won one of those. I won first place in a community goal
Community
once.
goal.
It's hard.
I think I've done
My
one.
girlfriend at the time, I'm not with her anymore, but she went out of town. My daughter went out of town. Everybody went out of town. It was like right the week after Christmas. Wasn't nobody doing nothing, and I had nothing to do. And I said, "There's been it's man, moment, machine," and I did it.
Goal
And
achieved.
I'll never try to do that again. But
Way too much time.
in the defense of the great Russian players that have been voided from this game since the Ukraine conflict, there's a lot of great players. They were not playing because Russia's internet was down.
Yeah.
They was, like trying to keep it on the. They didn't want. There was not a lot of Russian players because they're probably fighting, or like do the Russian draft. I don't know. We don't talk about that kind of stuff on their show, but it does spill over into the Elite Dangerous community. I have seen two carriers in one system. One was Donald Trump 2024, and one was Joe Biden 2024, parked next to each other.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty funny that the people in the game were politicizing to the point where they're changing their carrier name. The name of my carrier is Rackman's Orehouse, and the W is silent.
Yeah.
But it's a tribute to Rackham's Peak,
Yes.
and which is at the top of the galaxy. Which we're gonna do a little trip. Let's do a wine
Let's do a wine run.
run. Not this week because
No.
you're out of the
I'm
game.
out of the game.
But if you want to get on the wine run, we buy wine on the cheap down in the bubble, and then we go to the very top of the galaxy, and it looks really cool. And there's a star base up there, and it's different. I mean, it's just like a little medium pad base, but when you jump into it, it's really far away. It's like 30,000 to 50,000 kilometers away, and you have this cargo, and there are dudes waiting to kill you, like real players all the time. And to be able to get on that little gauntlet without getting capped is kind of a thing. But the good thing is, you make it there, you're gonna make a lot of money because you bought it for like 5,000 a ton, and you're selling it for like 100,000 a ton, and it's just dividends. And if you've got 780 tons in your T9, you're going to be able to make bank. I don't run my T9 with shields, but you're not running a T9 to that base. It's not even part of the equation. I run Python on that.
Yeah, that's when we ended up running on that. Run a
But
Python.
there could be a better one. If you know of a better wine build, drop it in the comments on the YouTube, and we'll definitely check it out, because I wouldn't mind making it easier for some of the guys that aren't as good as us. But we could go as a pack. We could all get, obviously everybody got their own schedule, but me and you could go as a
Yeah,
pack.
definitely.
In fact, we could run security. Like I could take my Corvette, and you could take your monster, and we could just run an escort.
Indeed.
For a crew of people, but you'd have to have the squadron all lined up, and everybody had to be in comms to be able to accomplish that. But
yeah, the views are phenomenal too up there. Like it's pretty. I like that view.
I'll probably do some more mining this week. Maybe. It just depends. There's so much to do in the game right now. I'm still really trying to get my schematics to upgrade my weapons and my suits. And I just don't have a lot of options. And so I don't really want to farm, but it looks like I'm going to be farming. But farming's not as fun as like mining. It's pretty chill, you know. Need to get you back into that too.
I'll be back in it soon enough.
And if with two people mining, you could have the dude that knows how to blow the cores. It's all about blowing cores.
Gotta blow this core.
I blow the cores.
And scoop up the mess.
And you suck up them rocks.
Them rocks. Just suck up them rocks.
Suck them up, man.
Suck them up.
It's easy. I think we did pretty good for today.
Yeah, we're wrapping
Let's
go
go ahead and hit hyperspace, man. Thank y'all thank you for listening and joining us. And in the meantime, you will find us on the flip side. But there was a planned exit to this show. We never did it, so we just decided to extend. And when we extend, that's when it ends. We go into hyperspace.
Hyperspace it is.
You want to do hypersleep?
Let's hypersleep.
Oh man, you got any hyper sleeping pills?
Oh, those would be good with it.
Oh yeah.